Welcome back again to a new learning video. So you're all in on containers, right? They're fantastic. But then you look at AWS and whoa, the options for actually running them can feel kind of overwhelming. In this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise. We'll break down the big four: ECS, ECR, EKS, and AppRunner, so you can figure out exactly which one is the perfect fit for your project. All right, so you've done it. You've built your beautiful container. Your app is all bundled up, neat and tidy, ready to go. But now what? How do you actually get this thing running in the cloud? And not just running, but running well at scale without giving you a massive headache? That's the real question, isn't it? Okay, so let's start at the very beginning of your container's journey to the cloud. Before you can run your app, you've got to have a place to park the image, right? A safe, secure spot to store it. And for that, AWS has the perfect tool: ECR, the Elastic Container Registry. Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like a super secure private library just for your container images. It's where you store the blueprints for your application before you go and build the house. But here's the magic of ECR. It's not just a storage locker. It's deeply woven into the entire AWS ecosystem. It talks fluently with services like ECS and EKS, which makes deployments a breeze. It's also got your back on security, automatically scanning for any nasty vulnerabilities. And crucially, it's lightning fast. So when you need to scale up your app, you can pull those images in no time. Okay, so our image is safe and sound in ECR. What's next? Well, now we get to the fun part: actually running the thing. And to do that, we need something called an orchestrator. First on our list is ECS, the Elastic Container Service. This is Amazon's own, built-from-the-ground-up solution. The orchestra conductor analogy is perfect here. ECS's whole job is to make sure all your little container musicians are playing the right notes at the right time and all together in perfect harmony. Now, when you use ECS, you hit a fork in the road. You have a really important choice to make. Option 1 is the EC2 launch type. This is the hands-on approach. You manage the servers, you tweak the settings, you're in full control. Option 2, Fargate. This is the serverless stream. AWS handles all the messy infrastructure stuff behind the scenes. You just hand over your container and say, run this. You give up a bit of that fine-grained control, but man, the simplicity is a game changer. So who's ECS for? It's really for teams that are already living and breathing AWS. If you want a powerful tool that just works seamlessly with everything else you're using, and you don't want the full-blown complexity of something like Kubernetes, ECS is your sweet spot. But what if your team is already a bunch of Kubernetes pros? Or what if you want to use the undisputed open-source champion of container orchestration? Well, that's where EKS comes in. EKS is the Elastic Kubernetes Service, and it's basically AWS's way of giving you all the power of Kubernetes, but without the absolute nightmare of managing the core components yourself. So why go with EKS? The huge selling point is freedom, portability. Since it's standard Kubernetes, you're not chained to AWS. You can take your setup and run it on-prem, on another cloud, wherever. Plus, you unlock this gigantic ecosystem of amazing tools that the community has built. We're talking about things like Helm and Istio that can take your applications to a whole new level. Let's be clear, EKS is the heavy lifter. It's the top choice for big companies that need that multi-cloud flexibility, are running incredibly complex apps, or, already have a team that speaks fluent Kubernetes. If you need the ultimate power and control, this is it. Okay, so ECS. EKS, are you feeling a little overwhelmed? Does that all sound like a lot of work? What if you could just, run your app without worrying about clusters or tasks or nodes or any of that jargon? Well, say hello to AWS AppRunner. The valet service analogy is perfect. You pull up, hand them the keys to your container, and they handle everything. Literally everything. The magic number for AppRunner is 0. Zilch. Nada. That's how much infrastructure you have to manage. You don't see a server, you don't configure a cluster. It's all gone. AppRunner just takes care of it. Scaling, security, load balancing. It even gives you a secure website address automatically. It's pretty incredible. So you can probably guess who this is for, right? It's for any developer who's thinking, I just want to get my app online, like right now. We're talking about deploying in minutes. It's all about speed and simplicity. If you're not a DevOps guru, AppRunner is your new best friend. All right, so we've met the contenders: ECS, EKS, and the super simple AppRunner.
Now for the main event, making the actual decision. How do you pick the right tool for your job? Let's put them head to head.
So how do they really stack up against each other? Let's dig in. This table right here tells the whole story. Just look at the first two rows, complexity and control. See how they're basically opposites? App Runner, very low complexity, but also low control. EKS, high complexity, but very high control. That's the core trade-off you're making, right there. So it boils down to a simple question. Do you need that hardcore, granular control and have the Kubernetes chops to handle it? EKS is your powerhouse. Or do you just want to ship your code fast and not worry about anything else? App Runner, all the way. And ECS? It hangs out right in that sweet spot in the middle, giving you a great balance of power and simplicity, especially with Fargate. So let's make this even simpler. Think of this as your cheat sheet. If your top priority is getting a web app launched as fast as humanly possible, you use App Runner. If you're building a bunch of microservices inside AWS and want a powerful but manageable system, ECS with Fargate is a fantastic choice. And if you're building for a huge enterprise, need to run on multiple clouds, or require advanced Kubernetes features, well, you know the answer. It's EKS. Okay, let's step back for a second and look at the big picture. How does this all fit together in a typical workflow? No matter which of these you choose, the basic dance steps are pretty much the same. You start by building your Docker image on your own machine. Step 2, you push that shiny new image up to ECR, our secure library. Then you tell your orchestrator of choice, ECS, EKS, or App Runner, hey, go grab that image and run it. Finally, you hook up the networking and set up some monitoring to make sure everything stays happy and healthy. And really, that's the key thing to remember. There's no single best way to run containers on AWS. That's the beauty of it. They give you a whole spectrum of options. You can go from the absolute simplest, just run it for me service, to the most powerful, configurable beast on the planet. It's all about picking the right tool for your app and, just as importantly, for your team. And that kind of leaves us with a really interesting question for the future, doesn't it? With these amazing serverless tools like App Runner and Fargate getting better and better, are we getting close to a world where developers just don't have to think about servers at all anymore? Is managing infrastructure becoming a thing of the past? I really hope this explainer helped clear up the AWS container world for you. I'm curious, which of these services are you thinking about trying for your next project? Drop a comment below and let us know. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this useful, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives just like this one. See you in the next one.